Yes.
Recording in progress.
All right, let's give it something to record.
Yeah. Let me.
My name is John LaLonde. I'm your host today. Please be the forgiving people I know you to be. This is the first time I've been up here hosting. And so it's February 2nd, 2025. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Importantly, it is Groundhog Day. I understand the groundhog
it is.
saw its shadow. More winter is in store for us.
Fun.
So I want to welcome everybody, and I wonder if there's anybody in the sanctuary who's here for the first time. There's some people I don't know the names of anyway. Would you be willing to stand and say your name and anything about you you want?
We sneaked in here once before.
Been here before.
We've been here before. Sandy Stairs and my wife Ruth.
All right. Hello and welcome.
I'm and a good friend of Judy, so.
Oh, that's
great.
nice. Very nice.
Wonderful.
Nice to see you.
Wonderful. Welcome here. Is there anybody new on Zoom?
Not so far.
All right. Welcome, folks on Zoom as well. So this is the first Sunday in February. Can you believe it? We have a new topic for the month of February, and that is the topic of love. So we're going to be hearing about love all month, and hopefully developing our capacities and our expression and recognition of love in our lives. So we start off with a song, and that we then go into meditation. So we have our musician here, Marosy, is here. She will sing a song. We will then go into a quiet meditation for just a couple of minutes. When she's done, and I'll bring us back to the room.
Thank you.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this that brought my heart such bliss and sent this perfect peace to my soul, and sent this perfect peace to my soul? To God and to the Lamb I will sing, to God and to the Lamb I will sing, to God and to the Lamb who is the great I am. While millions join the theme,
as we begin to return our awareness to the room, let's just feel and know deeply. Divine Spirit is present here in this church on this beautiful day and in all of our hearts and those we're sitting near. Let's know that. Let's affirm our openness to all we can remember about love this month, all we can learn about love this month, and let's be open to one another, to all of our wonderful speakers and our musician, and let's just make it a wonderful service for ourselves and for one another. We're grateful for this beautiful day. We're grateful for this sanctuary, for the Positive Living Center, and all the people that come to participate in our service, and those who spend time preparing to speak to us, to play for us, and all the other things that goes into making this possible. We're grateful for that and so much more. And we release it knowing it is already so, and so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Melissa. So we'll start with a spiritual thought delivered by our very own Jacque Stringer.
Thank you. So love, such a broad topic. Thank you. And my English teacher would say, that's just too broad of a topic. Let's bring it down. So I kind of paired it with remembering because that's our theme for the year. And if I said love to you, I'm sure all these little thought bubbles would just pop up over your head, and you would probably think of your first pet, your first love, your first car, your first sight of a rainbow. So many of us have a different definition of love because it's so broad, and that's why it's so beautiful. And when I pair the love with remembering, it brings in nostalgia for me. And nostalgia brings in childhood for me. And I love the sound of music. And I mean that figuratively and literally. And I was brought to watch the movie this week just for some reason, because I needed to remember how it was to just sit there and love what I was watching, just enjoying, not having any phone in front of me or any dogs trying to get me to give them treats. So I really enjoyed it, and as an adult, when you see something over again, you really see many different facets of movies that you didn't necessarily pick up when you're a child. And one of the things that I picked up this time was the spirit of Maria, the nun. She almost got kicked out of the nunnery because she was such a strong spirit. They couldn't break her. But she had so much love for nature and for seeing and for the hills and just wanting to be outside. And some nuns understood, some nuns, no, we need her to be like this. And she was like, no, I need to be who I am. And so she found herself in a house, again, with another militant persona. And she did not let that break her. She continued to be herself. And she brought in music into the household. And one of the most beautiful scenes in the entire movie that I really didn't get when I was a kid was the first time that the father heard the children singing, because you could see the look on his face, and it was a look of remembering, because he was widowed, and his wife, who had given him the 7 children, had passed away, and you could see the love in him, and the song reminded him of that love. And the children were so, they wanted his attention. And all he did was have that whistle, and they marched. That's the only way. And if they were bad, they got the attention. So they would, put acorns on her chair, or pine cones, put frogs in her bed. They did so many things to get the attention. And it was the music that gave them the most attention, and their singing. And it was so beautiful to see him light up and the children light up, and he began to sing. And it was the first time almost that they had, not the first time, it was probably the first time the littlest ever saw him sing, but the eldest, 16 going on 17, she they were all enamored with his voice, and just the love that you could feel, even in the singing, it was beautiful. But one of the other things that I noticed, and it kind of brought me back to where we are today in political scenes, she was in a household where the captain was also very rebellious against what was happening in that current day. It was beautiful Austria, and he was hanging the flag of Austria. And it was like there's very few things in the movie that made you go, oh, that was a very different climate back then. Because somebody made a comment about him not hanging a certain flag with a certain, swastika on it. And he was very proud, like, I'm an Austrian. And throughout the whole movie, it focused on love, and the children had no clue what was going on in the political arena, which is the way it should be. They were focused on the family. They were focused on the love and the singing and the togetherness, and it brought you to the end of the show where they really had to get out of there. And as a kid, it was just more adventurous for me, like, oh, it's an adventure. As an adult seeing it, I could see the fear in the parents having to try to get out of there because it was changing. The nation was changing. And they did not want the kids to have to endure any of that. So I really had an appreciation as an adult and what I'm trying to do in my own family, in my own life. And that I'm aware of things that are going on, but I really do not give it my attention because I don't focus it there. I focus it on the love and the gratitude that I have for you guys, for my family, for life. And I just hope that we can all do that, just refocus on where we want and what we want is to show the love, to be the love, to act as love. And that's really all we need to do. Everything else will work itself out. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be the love. I think that's just the expression that we can all strive for. So, Melissa, another song?
Absolutely. When the waters are deep, friends carry me over. When I cry in my sleep, love call me home. Time ferry me down the river, friends carry me safely over. Life carry me on my journey, love call me home. When the waters are cold, friends carry me over. When I'm losing my home, there's a chance for friends to carry me over. Time can stop or dance forever. Love, call me home. Come ferry me down the river. Friends carry me safely over. Life tend me on my journey. Love, call me home. Love, call me home.
Thank you, Melissa. Yes, that power of love expressed by.
Speak into the mic.
Oh,
They can't hear. Thank you.
all right. Is that better?
A little bit louder.
All right. Well, next we have our own Reverend Lujuana Bull to deliver our minister's message.
Since Zoom is saying that it's a little bit difficult to hear, I figured we'll just keep this right here.
There you go.
Here. I'm punny. Before we go into this topic that we have for this month, love, I'd like to remind you of some of the key science of mind principles that were discussed for last month's topic, just the top 3. First of all, remember that science of mind was introduced to open up our eyes to one power at a time when 2 powers were being taught. So one power. So number 1, God is. One God, one power, one presence, one knowing. Omni for all of us. 2, we are. Macro, God is. Micro, we are. How could we be made of anything but what the Creator is? Now, we are means you, me, I, us, we, everyone, anyone. Sometimes the everyone and anyone, we kind of go, are you sure? Yes, everyone, anyone. So we are individualized expressions. And how many of us already know that? The third is something that was offered by a friend, that we are all the same and we are all unique. We are all different and we're all the same. Feels a little paradoxical. But I call it the big and. That's how it feels for me. It's the big and. It's very vast and it's very expansive and it's the big and. We're all the same and we're all different. Now, this is a practice that you can do anywhere at any time. And I'd like to dive into it with you. Looking around the room, any room that you're in, it could be even the outdoors, you don't have to limit it to inside. You pick a painting, a statue. Pick any item in the room, the exit sign, the lamp, the carpet, the cement floor with the labyrinth, the books in the library. Pick any item, and I need your help here because the any item, I'd like us to focus on one item together. So, toss out an item that you'd like me to focus on. Call it out.
Star.
The star. Any other items?
Well, which star?
Good point. Which star, Sandy?
The one over your head.
The one over my head. That would be the one with the orange and the pink and the dark let's not forget the pen. And feels like paper. And this star. So we know paper's involved. We know colors are involved. We know a pen is involved. There's some string up there involved. Probably some space for a light to even be in there is sometimes the case. But and it's three-dimensional. Someone was able to pull all those creations, pink paint or coloring, orange, yellow. I pray my eyes aren't messing with me. Is that a kind of a brownish, dark color? All those paints or colorings, particular kind that was used on this, the paper folding, the ability to fold the paper and glue it, all of these came together. Let's not forget they were probably purchased someplace. So somebody bothered to get them to be at a particular place, had them as an idea to offer them and sell them. Everything that we're talking about right now is hopefully pulling us back in time to when it was just an idea. An idea about paint colors or print colors, an idea about this particular design, an idea about how can we get it out there, an idea about I'm willing to travel it out there, an idea about I've got a store that I'm willing to put this out there to make it available to you. All the ideas that came together for just this one thing. So I like to take an item when I'm struggling that's anywhere and just pull it back until I get to the idea. And remembering that out there is out there. Those are the ideas we've had so far. How we're doing it right now is all the ideas we've had so far. And there's no limit to what's going to come through us into the future. So the ideas that we have that are about just one star is creator, creating, creation. Is it such a stretch to remind ourselves that our bodies would not exist without the idea, the knowing, the intelligence? They can have all these systems working together in one place. Circulatory, endocrine, muscle, skeletal. Patrick knows a lot more about this than I do. It is amazing, the intelligence behind the cells, behind our DNA. What will they find that's underneath the DNA? Someday there will be a discovery of the more. Remember when it was the atom that was being spoken about? Now we have the DNA. I don't find it difficult to feel and to remember anymore. Creator, creating, creation, macro is omni-available, everywhere, all the time. No exceptions. Omni could be an entire years of remembering. We could talk on that one. We could feel on that one. We could accept the vastness of that one. So, why was that so important for LJ to play that game with you? Do we feel a little more expansive about who, what we are? Just a little bit? In what was shared? If we feel it even just a little bit, someone can go, well, I don't feel the fullness of spirit. I don't know how spiritual can I be. What is she talking about? It could be any of those. But if we feel just a little bit of expansiveness, remember, a thimble full of spirit or an ocean full of spirit is 100% pure spirit. So often we diminish the vastness of spirit working in us because it isn't showing up in the way we've outlined. And we don't have to do that, but we sure can. So I'm feeling the heart's desire to let the expansiveness, to let the spaciousness get filled by the spirit nature that is me. And when I look at you, I already see spirit going on in a vast, expansive, massive, well-supported, well-loved way. In all the years of participating with New Thought Ancient Wisdom teachings, I have a nature that's kind of spatial, not special. I'm the one that straightens out the chairs when they get out of order. So I'm a little spatial in seeing how that can be. If you need to know if your copier will fit in the corner, ask me. Because I see patterns and I see spatial, in my journey with New Thought Ancient Wisdom, I also see, like the order and flow of us, our inner dimensions. It's been part of my journey. And the funny thing is it's not just the things I've grabbed and reached and read or experienced. It's also what people have put in my hands, what others have put in front of me. My girlfriend, LaLonde, you gotta come over here, we're gonna do this Jin Shin Jitsu thing. It's right up your alley. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, don't ask me about it, just get here. Okay. And so repetitively, I've been getting to witness these inner dimensions of us. Now, I always want to share the real good stuff that's shown itself to me. I want to share that with you, but I also don't want anyone taking naps while I'm talking. So instead of going into that, which has made itself known to me, I created a piece that I'm going to give out at the end of the talk today. And I also recognize that Spirit talks to each of us uniquely, differently. And I respect and I honor and I love that. And I love hearing how Spirit shows you the way, lives through you. And I wanted to share this with you. And really what it is Creator creating creation is going on already with all of us. And we don't have to blame or shame or be hard on ourselves or have negative press clippings about ourselves or anybody else to live our lives as ourselves in ways where joy and strength to stand up for each other and compassion and caring and love and generosity get to have full sway. But I do want to just focus. Think macro, remember, source, spirits already got this living that we're doing. We are not alone. We are always in communion. Sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we're nuts. Sometimes we're not. No, okay. Creator, creating, creation is I am. Harmonizer, harmonizing. Harmony is I feel. Compassion bringer, bringing compassion. Something in action is I do. Lover, loving, beloved is I love. freedom ringer, liberating, ringing that freedom as I speak. Vision seer, revealing the vision as I see. Knower, knowing the known as I know. Abundance bringer, bringing abundance as I realize. Divinity revealing itself as everyone and everything as I experience. That and more is being shared here. For us to remember that we already are. More than anything we could ever hope for, we already are. Now, none of this requires an education. We don't have to be older or younger. We don't have to buy anything. We don't have to subscribe to any service. We don't have to change one thing about ourselves, and this is already true. Not one thing. We do, if we choose, get to allow more spaciousness. I call it wiggle room. For more of what we already are to show up in our day-to-day things. Now, it's not hard being ourselves and letting this out of the bag. What is challenging sometimes, what can really require a little spiritual work, is letting go of old falsehoods. Those negative press clippings that we say about ourselves and others. These gifts have already been given just by being alive. Can you feel a little more of the spaciousness and a little more of the what you already are? Is it noticeable that you've maybe opened up just a little more, or been pointed to a part of your nature that you might not give as much time to, that you already are? A girlfriend sent me a topic, Instagram the other day, and the topic of the Instagram was basically, when someone sees more about you than you see about yourself, what do you consider that? And the person that was being spoken with said, a good friend. When someone sees more about us than we see about ourselves, a good friend. Are we noticing all the good friends we meet on our spiritual journey? Remember our founder, Angelo's saying, perfect for this month. Love, do you remember this one? Love everyone. Forgive everything. Remember who you are. I was going to do music here, kind of like love, 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 love. It's easy. Okay. We know we've heard scripture. Now you're going to help me with this one. I'm sure you've had this one as well. Scripture says, love God with all your
Heart,
all your
mind,
soul or strength. Depends on which version we're reading. Love your neighbor as
Yourself.
Now, just sitting with that, wouldn't that point us to the fact that we're already loved. Just hearing that expression for me goes, I love that the assumption is we would love ourselves. Love your neighbor as yourself. And love your... There's another one that follows after self. Love your...
Enemy?
Anybody?
Enemies?
What was that?
Is it enemy?
Louder, girl.
Enemy.
Enemy. Love your enemies. Now, how many had trouble with that one when they first heard it? When I first heard it, I had trouble with that one. I'm going, yeah, there's some people I'm going, they're outside of my heart. No, that might not happen. But there's also enemies right in here. Because what we're putting out there, remember, when we're pointing with that blame finger, one is literally pointing outward and the other three are heading in the other direction. And science of mind teaches us we're living in a reciprocal universe. What we send out comes back to us. You can call it the law of attraction, you can call it whatever you want. It's just that we can't have ill will being shoved out there without having some of that hanging out in our inner realm. But we can always go back just with our attention. And if you ever think your attention isn't worth something, think of all the advertisers that are paying buku bucks, so much money to get your attention. Attention is priceless. And we can put our attention back on our spirit nature and let that inform our activities. Love. Wait, am I in the right note? Love, 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 love. I think I'm off. Love. I am. It's easy. We'll go with the part I can remember. Let's see. I am personally setting my heart for this month especially that I'm expanding my capacity to give and to receive. Thursday of last week, Edwin Gaines spoke to the Anton members. How many are familiar with Edwin Gaines and her prosperity and abundance teachings? 3? Okay. Largest turnout of Anton members yet to hear Edwin Gaines. She's Southern Belle, great sense of humor, and lives her teachings. She's 85 years old. She's been teaching this for 55 years. And she said, I am expanding my capacity to give and to receive. Now, will you join me and say that as well?
I am expanding my capacity to give and receive.
Thank you, Edwin. By the way, she sees more in people than they see in themselves. She's a good friend. Who here is a natural giver? Just habit. You can't help it, can't hold it back. You're just constantly giving, giving, giving. All right, just look. You don't have to do big, but you can go. Yeah, that's me.
My friend Ruth.
Your friend Ruth. Ruth, you were squirming a little bit back there. Who considers themselves natural receivers? You don't block it when it's coming your way.
Learning.
A lot of you are incognito. That's okay. It's perfect. Who feels balanced in both? We have been taught that it's better to give than to receive. And it is wonderful to give. Absolutely wonderful. We don't want to keep that a secret. And yet, if we get the idea because of that saying or any sayings like that, or that we have to block our receiving. I encourage you to remember breathing. Would you consider exhaling and not inhaling? It really is important that we do both. Edwina Gaines said that when she first started tithing, and that's one of her practices, when she first started tithing, she said it was embarrassing how small it was. She felt embarrassed that the 10% that she would be giving away was tiny. Now, she, of course, because she teaches it and she lives it, now she tithes weekly and sometimes 3 times a week. Because she keeps the flow going. So how much can we love? My girlfriend had a real hard time when the second grandbaby was coming. Because she loved that first grandbaby so much. Then she goes, oh my gosh, I won't be able to, how will I be able to love the second one? Like there was going to be a limit, it was going to be cut off, that she wasn't going to be able to love that second one as much. And of course, there was no limit. So we can love an infinite amount. We don't have to judge it, we just have to give it. Again, there's no effort in the giving. The effort that we put in, the work we put in, is in the clearing away the spaciousness in the room for it to flow. Kind of giving up the old false ideas, the old habits, the old patterns, just giving them up. Remember that we can never stop being us. I used to actually think that I was going to be a lot different, much more Jesus-like at first. That was my first understanding of our spiritual nature. Much more Jesus-like, and I go, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. Speaking of dynamic people, I go, oh, how could I, that really, but what would Jesus do? Okay, I can focus on that, but I'm not going to be like Jesus. No way. Because I saw this Zen-like, holy, holy, holy presence perspective for Jesus. And I did not see that for myself. Today, I'm in the company of Zen-like, Zen feeling, prayerful souls. And I go, I know I'm not like that. That's just not the way this delivery system does it. And I used to have a real big issue with that. But when I stopped having a big issue with it, when I got rid of the whole judgment of myself, when I stopped assessing the way I was doing this life in the most natural way, I found out I had a lot more I could be that was real and genuine and authentic and empowered and encouraging and supportive and caring and loving. You can't stop being you. Thank God. And you're magnificent. Your ministers see your spirit even when we're in the quagmire of the stuff. Whenever we're moving through something, the encouragement, keep moving, keep loving, keep being true to yourself. Changes will more readily come, and it'll be more easily. And we'll all have plenty to be grateful for. We don't have to change, but the ones that we've really been heart's desired, about? Those dreams we put on a shelf and they've gotten dusty? The ways we want to let ourselves express and be, but we've been too shy about? All of that gets to fall away in its time. We just have to be willing to follow our heart's desire. Last time I spoke, we looked in each other's eyes and we spoke some words of truth. These are lent to us by Agape Spiritual Center, International Spiritual Center. And if you would, with me today, let's do it again. Look in the eyes of someone around you and repeat after me. I recognize you.
I recognize.
I recognize you.
I recognize.
I see who you truly are. I see who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and the very likeness of God. You are the spiritual image and the very likeness of God. You are an opening. You are an opening God gets to love through. You are an opening God gets to love through. And today, we get to celebrate your very existence.
And today, we get to celebrate your very existence.
We get to celebrate your infinite potential.
We get to celebrate your infinite potential.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate
you, and we thank God for you.
And we thank God for you.
When you see someone who doesn't know this, I'm sorry. User error by LaLonde, and my apologies. Okay. When you see someone who doesn't know this, no. We're done with the repeating portion of the show.
It was so fun.
It was. Nobody wants to stop. That's great. I love it. Okay. When you okay. I'm not going to pause this time. I want to go straight through. Okay. When you see someone who doesn't know this, be their good friend. Know it for them. It is a joy being on this spiritual journey with you. I look forward to praying and more playing with you throughout the year. Namaste.
Namaste.
The purple pages will be in the back of the room. You're welcome to grab them up if you'd like to take one.
Well, thank you, Reverend LJ. A lot to chew on and consider there. It just seems a part that I really liked was examining this from the start here. And when we think about our lives and all the threads that are involved in keeping us upright, keeping the world working, you just have to feel love and gratitude for all the things that go into making our precious human life.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to the offertory. Can I get two people that would help with that? Before you walk out, let's say the offertory prayer. Divine love flowing
Through me, blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive.
Thank you, everybody. Well, I want to just remind people that the Positive Living Center has people that will pray with you and for you, and that is accomplished in a few different ways. First of all, Jacque Stringer here, who gave our spiritual thought, will be available in the meditation room in the back there. Afterwards, if you want a prayer session with Jacque, who is a practitioner in turn. There's also in that back corner a frog box and some paper there. You can write down your request for a prayer on that. And Reverend Joe here facilitates that, gets us out to all of the ministers and prayer practitioners throughout the week. So that's how that is accomplished. You can also ask any practitioner or minister that's here, and you can call them also. It's in the I focus. So please do avail yourself of that if you wish. So we also, I just want to cover, I think, something that everybody knows. I mean, we just passed the baskets, but if you're on Zoom, or if you wish to set up a monthly automatic sort of payment on the iFocus, the newsletter that is sent out once a week, there is a button to donate on that. It is very simple. You give them your information once and step back, and it will happen automatically. So that's another nice way to do that. Or you can mail a check to the Positive Living Center P.O. box, and I think there are cards on the back table with that. So now it's time for announcements. So are there any people with announcements today? Yes. Laura. Yes.
Just letting you know that spiritual discussion group is not going to happen this week. Bob is not available, so I hope he's having a good time. We'll see you next month.
All right, thank you. Any others? Yes, Sammy.
Last week I did the spiritual thought, and I suggested for all of us a 21-day challenge of no complaints. And I brought a little tip sheet that I've left on the table back there. So you get a purple sheet and you get a white sheet. If you want to do the 21-day challenge. How many people are doing it?
We're trying.
I'm trying.
Joyce and I are trying it, but we got into an argument about whether being critical is a complaint. I thought it was.
A technicality?
Yeah, I mean, we need some definitions here. Any other announcements? Barney?
So, Alan Watts talks about how the universe plays hide and seek with us, you know, right, wrong, good, bad. But I wanted to make an announcement that 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago on Monday, I got a call from Wilson Hago, the PhD I work with, to turn trash into energy. And he called me and he said, you know, Barney, we have to shut down our offices and our laboratory because we're out of money. And that was on Monday. You know, and then Tuesday, called me and said we got a rather substantial grant to convert human waste into green hydrogen, which is a fuel that doesn't put carbon in the atmosphere. So that was kind of nice. So thank you, universe, for playing hide and seek with us. Let's see. I'd like to just say a prayer to my daughter-in-law, who was just presented with an option to either quit her job as a federal employee. She serves veterans, so she can take a little golden handshake and be unemployed in 8 months, or she can stay with her job. And I encourage her to stay with her job because we never know what's going to happen. And rather than operating out of false evidence appearing real, I suggested that she keep her federal job because with a thought, everything can change. And then thirdly, Jackie, I played that little Nazi in The Sound of Music 50 years ago. I was just kind of reflecting. And I just want to say that Captain Von Trapp, when there was one person who was trying to control everything, he sang a song, Edelweiss, and upended everything. And people were very afraid that he was going to sing a song that would disturb the control, put at risk everything that they were trying to hold dear. And he sang that song, and I encourage us all that we are all one, but we hold that power of being all one together individually in that unique expression that we are. So let's not be afraid to sing our song. And also, let's not try to control anyone else's song. So, thank you.
Any other announcements?
I have a quick one.
It's more just a reminder on Wednesdays, 1:30, we meet here. But just to let you know, it's the book is not like you have to read a chapter each week. We were trying to do that, but it's a lot to cover. So it's kind of like a Bible study. We're going to come and speak about different things. So if you want to come whenever you want. If you can't come, that's okay too. I just wanted to make sure that you understood you're not missing anything. If you aren't here the first 2-3 times, just come whenever you can, all right?
Thank you. Well, I have 3 announcements.
How many?
3. 3. One of them's going to seem a little long. Now, the first is a sad thing. We've learned that Carla Reynes passed on yesterday. She was a person who came here for service for many years, has been living in Oregon near her family, and passed yesterday. So many people know and love her. She's very involved in the art community, and just a dynamo spirit. The second thing I wanted to just announce simply that this coming Saturday, the 8th, is the second Saturday of the month. And on the second Saturday, the flute circle happens at 1:30 for early learners, 2 o'clock for all levels. That goes until 3:30. Then the drum circle starts to set up. That begins at 4 and goes for an hour plus. And it too is a really fun thing to come to just find that common beat with what has been 25 plus people all doing things together. A wonderful experience. Reverend Judy conducts that with the mother drum, and so those are both good things, good community building things, and fun to play music, be with one another. So everyone's invited this coming Saturday. The last thing I want to talk about is the thing that probably equals two announcements, and what it is that, and I'll spare some of the details around it, but we all probably noticed that Indian Springs Road was replaced a few years ago, and it was part of a big project. If you've driven it out to 41, you can kind of see that it's actually kind of a nice looking road, and it's very helpful for people heading north. Another part of that big project was to replace School Road, or make some improvements on School Road, and replace the bridge that's on School Road, that if you walk out our door and look left, you will see what looks like an old bridge. They intend to make that a longer and wider bridge to accommodate bikes and pedestrians walking across it. To make it a bigger and longer bridge, they need to reroute the water line, the water main, the big pipe under the ground that carries the water both to the community, to the high school and the community up in that direction, and to this community around us, and us included. That rerouting of the water main is a huge task, as it turns out. We've been approached, we being PLC, and the Board of Trustees has been very involved in, first of all, understanding the project, second of all, figuring out how does it impact us specifically, and what will it take to both repair the things that they need to compromise in the building of this, and what is it worth in terms of a lease agreement with them. So we've been working on them, consulted with a number of people to come to numbers we thought were fair, and then received their offer. The water company's offer to use the property here to accomplish this preparation to build this new bridge. That impact to us is going to be two major things. One is they need to bore through what appears to be a large granite field in order to reroute this water pipe. In order to do that, they have, and I've never seen one, a huge machine, a boring machine, that needs to be, because the new line needs to be 25 feet below the surface of the ground. They need to be down in a pit with this big machine that will then bore 25 feet beyond or under the soil. So that is one thing that they wanted to do, was have the space to get this big machine down in this pit and be able to back it up and do things like that. It ends up that's about a 60-foot run to get that machine to be able to move the way it needs to move, to bore a big hole 25 feet into the ground. The second part of that is what they bore. They bore out a lot of debris, as you can imagine, this thing churning its way through granite. That debris is pumped out into big tank trucks. Those tank trucks need to be able to back up to the site of the boring, and that is across our property, over here on the left side of the building, towards the road. So they want to lay down a big fabric mat, put a lot of rock on that, so they can safely drive over the property to get to the boring site. So and they started using the term of make us whole, what will it take to make us whole, and that's a term we're familiar with, knowing that we are already whole. We didn't argue with them that we are already whole. We didn't jeopardize our bargaining position with a little philosophy or spirituality. So what we have come to, and we are close to signing, we meaning the board, is an agreement with the water company and the subcontractor that is doing that work, with consultation with representatives from Public Works with Madera County. So it's a big project that we're going to participate in, and we will have a lease agreement and a budget to replace all the trees, get the ground surface back into its current state or even better. I want to thank Steve and Horizon Landscaping in helping us understand what it's going to take to make it look good again. And Steve and Horizon have some ideas to make it look, even better. Throw some other color in there, some other types of trees. So that piece is a ways down the road. They're going to first come. They hope to be done with that by the end of April, because by the end of May, the bridge builder people are going to be starting their work. So there are some pretty tight time frames. So all that is to say that heads up, in the next 3 months probably, there's going to be some big equipment, a lot of people working, and they don't do anything on Sunday, so it will not impact noise-wise us. But that's going on. So we had a meeting this week with all those people, the county representatives, the board, representatives of our board, and the water company and the subcontractor that's doing the boarding. And at that meeting, we also had Steve came to that, Reverend LJ came to that, board member Marianne's husband. Marianne was there, and her husband Bill was there, and he has some experience with kind of large construction sorts of things. So he's another sounding board for us. So that's where we're at. I don't be surprised when you see it. I have a color map of the footprint of this project. You can get a little bit of a sense. You can also get a sense by walking out there. They have flagged the areas they're going to be working. They did that so that they could explain it to us this week, and we could start to see what they're talking about. So that's where we're at with that. I think we're done negotiating, and now it just needs to be written up and to be signed. And it seems to me and to all of the board members that we've struck a good deal that makes sense, and things will be returned to their normal space here. With the bridge building, we're also holding open the thought. These people said the people who are doing the bridge may also want to park vehicles on this property since it's right next to it. The bidder, they have not yet selected the bidder for that. So no discussions can happen about that, but that's another thing down the road that we might be looking at. Yes.
The only thing I want to add, John, because excellent work. I'm just so grateful and excellent work, is that the timeline could be till, they're saying at this time, April of next year. Because the bridge work happens after the water work happens. So water changes or, need improvements, and then the bridge. So that was the only thing I wanted to add.
Mm-hmm. All right. Great. Any other announcements? Well, with this project, the board members who are present, which includes Laura and Barney and Jacque and myself, will be around after this to show you the picture and answer any questions. All right. Feel free to call me anytime there are questions. Also, then I'm happy to try to answer it or get answers for it. All right. Let's move on then. Like I said, Jacque Stringer is our prayer partner. She'll be in the back there. Reverend Bob Hand is our speaker next week, so you'll want to be present for that. So let's state the prayer of protection. And for people who are new or somewhat new, in the seat back in front of you, there should be a card that looks like this one that has the prayer of protection on it. So anybody can join in. So let's begin. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. All right. Melissa, let's have another song.
Loud are the bells of North, and the people come and go. Here by the Tower of Julian I tell them what I know. Ring out, bells of North, and let the winter come and go. All shall be well again, I know. Love like the yellow daffodil is coming through the snow. Love like the yellow daffodil is Lord of all I know. Ring out, bells of Norwich, and let the winter come and go. All
lovely thematic, topic-consistent songs today. Can I ask Joe, Reverend Joe Bull, could you come up and pray us out?
Glad to. Oh my goodness, what a great service today. Thank you for everyone involved in service and all that we all do. Love is never ending, is it? Love is everywhere, all the time present. As we give love, we receive love. This is how life works. This is what God teaches us, that we are one in love. And I'm definitely in love with you guys in this place. Thank you all today for sharing with us. God bless, and so it is.
So it is.
Right, thank you for coming. Let's go forth and just express the love that is just bubbling inside.
Yes.